see where we're at. We live? Looks like we might be live. Let's check out and see if we've got audio. See where we're at. Yeah, we got audio. Hey, diggity dog. All right, I feel pretty good about this. Let me just kind of get myself rearranged here. Hi, how you doing? All right, is Couchbot fired? I don't know. We should check that too. I should say a little more. Did a lot of work in the Discord channel over the weekend, cleaning up a few things. First big thing, we now have a dedicated channel for announcements, and primarily it will be myself and Couchbot firing off information into that channel. That was formerly the general channel, and hey, guess what? It's there. It's there, hot diggity. So not only is it there, but Couchbot is working, which means my late night tinkering was successful. It held. So without further ado, let's actually continue that conversation in just 3, 2, 1. Greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. It's time for the feedback loop. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a great weekend. It's Monday morning here in Chicago, and it is time to take a look at some student work, but also get caught up on some updates here from the program. So I was just alluding prior to kicking off the feedback loop that we have a new channel in Discord. We actually have 2 new channels. One is announcements. So if you are following along in the Discord channel, there's no longer a, quote, general channel. General used to hold all the announcements for curriculum and updates and live stream notifications and video releases and conversations among students, and it got real noisy in there because I do make quite a few updates. So announcements is now locked down. I'm going to be using that primarily to announce when there are curriculum updates, to announce when videos have gone live, and that will be where all of that kind of ongoing material is. There is now a open forum channel that's going to be utilized for conversations. So the open forum channel, I've had a lot of people ask, like, where should I put this thing? Goes in the open forum channel. And a lot of people would ask that because they would see like a lot of videos and stuff in the general channel. It's like, is that really where I should be having a conversation? And the answer is, it probably wasn't. We probably needed just a dedicated conversation channel this whole time. So now we have open forum, in addition to the channels that enrolled students have for feedback loop and daily stand-up. So if you are just in the new Pragmatic community and you've got a question, going in and dropping that into the open forum, that's the place to do it. Second announcement, and for this one, I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen. Second announcement, we now have this new file called the Digital Design Anatomy. And it is a Figma file that anybody can go and download for free. And the interesting thing about this file, I've had this question come up a number of times from students. You've wanted to know, hey, what is this thing called? What is that thing called? What is that? So you've had questions. You've pointed to things. You've said, I don't know what these things are called, and I totally get it. You're new to digital design. You don't know. You're digging around. You're wanting to design. I want it to look like that, but you're not even sure what that is called. Or you're wanting to create. Is this a 3-column thing? Is it 3 wide? What is it referred to as? Wanted to get those out of the way as well. Also wanted to provide just a place where you weren't being able to. I'm not asking you to design anything here. I'm just giving you examples, and sometimes I'm giving you like just different examples, so that you can have a compare. So you can compare, like, what is a media website like? Like this one is Rolling Stone. What's the difference between a media website and just a product website? And as you can tell from the designs that are shown here, quite a lot. There's just a different texture to the information that's being shown. the goal here is to get some examples in front of you so that you're not flying blind when you're kicking off your research. All right. Another thing that a lot of people have asked is type sizes. You're looking at the Amazon Navbar and you're wondering, well, how big are these typefaces? Well, I wanted to do a little bit of that work for you. Yes, you can use Inspect Element to go find all of this out for yourself, but what happens if you're very new and you don't know Inspect Element yet? I want that barrier to entry to be as small as humanly possible. Yes, I do want you utilizing Inspect Element. I do want you going through and picking things like this apart for yourself, but I also want to give you that starting point so you can get moving on this. And there are some other aspects to this that we will be breaking down. I'm going to be adding information to this. As it says right here, this is not version 1, it's version 0.1. So I'm hoping to add a lot more to this file in the coming days and weeks ahead. But I just wanted to make you aware that this was there because if you are a new design student, you are struggling, you're trying to wrap your hands around it, I get it. Digital design can be difficult because there's so much of it. Where do you start? What are these things called? I don't even know how to Google for that. This file should help with that, okay? And again, this is like a baseline, we're building from the foundation up sort of thing. If you're a senior designer, if you've been doing design for 5 years, like this is not something that you're gonna get any real value out of. Maybe the type thing. The type thing always comes up. All right, we've got a couple students in here. Bryn and Kara are in here, and it's been so long since I've seen Kara's prototype. Congratulations, Kara, for reasons that we know if you're in the community. I won't broadcast that out for everybody else who might not know Kara personally, but Kara is great. She was one of the original students in the program. I'm going to go ahead and put this in prototype mode because you've got a lot of frames there, and I just want to kind of poke at it to see how this is doing, and I also want to come back to your journal. So you've got the prototype that you've got set up is sample flow and sign up, set up account, create a plan, place first order. So I'm going to try those two flows really fast and see what we get. So we are going to do the try a sample flow here, and it says, and I want to, one second, I want to turn off the footer and header and footer. All right, so this is try a sample flow. So this is Kara, email address, password, next. I'm going to select a meal type, like the hover states. I'm going to go with meat, next. And then we're going to go with Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street, Apartment 1. That's classic. This isn't too bad. I mean, you got to scroll down a little bit. I'd prefer to have it up, but you're working with what you've got. As far as depth goes, I'm on a 13-inch monitor, so I'm on the smaller side of desktop setups. So you're just over the edge there, but probably not for most people. I am curious, like, what is the, because I know a lot about mobile device sizes, but I haven't researched like what is the common desktop setup these days. I try to hit, if I can make it work for a 13, it'll work for an 18, it'll work for a 24, but I think you're fine. Success, we have received your sample request. What you don't want to get into is something where you're scrolling constantly. So we go back to homepage. Okay, so homepage for users who are logged in. All right, so let's go to your account. This is nice. It's probably a bit large, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of looking at. So if I hit edit, well, I'm probably digging into places that I shouldn't be. So let's go back and look at this. Sign up, set up an account. Sign up, set up account, create plan, place first order. Okay, so if I, okay, I'm going to set up my account. So my account, I guess, is set up. Um, it's like showing me that I can click these. Oh, these are, okay, these are just hover states. Got it. So if I set up my account and I say, oh, yeah, okay, so this is where, you've got the classic scroll, right? So the scroll option needs to be set on um, the payment method. That's a bit of a problem. Your account has been saved. Create a plan. And here, let's see, dinner, one meal, scroll preference, okay. Scroll preference, select this plan. And so this is as far as I got. All right, so on that this looks really nice, by the way. But on the second piece, the payment method, and then the select a meal, that's all that all needs that preserve scroll function selected. And if we're jumping in here, like we're on account details, and we go into prototype, and we get ourselves into like this, preserve scroll position right there on the animation. Gotta have that clicked. When that's clicked, it's going, and that needs to be all the way through. That's going to keep the frames focus basically in that same area, unless you radically change locations, which you're not all the way through these. You want to like move down to the next thing. Unless you radically change locations, you definitely want to preserve that scroll position. Okay. All right. Let's jump over here to Bren, and Bren's got crazy prototype action happening here, which is great. Let's take a look at this. I love seeing a lot of prototypes. And as you can see, everything here is active. So if we go to breakfast, oh, so this is the hover state. All right, that's nice. I like it. Let's eat. Those are working pretty good. Okay. Okay, so that was a little weird. In that, like, should just happen after delay. And it kind of moves a little bit, but we're just taking a look here. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. Oh, nice, nice. You got it in there. That's good. So this I like. Obviously, this should be step 5, and then step 6. But overall, I think that this is pretty much working as you probably are intending. You got the side slider here. You've got your scrolling content here. It's hard. It's difficult to know if you need like some sort of gradient, some white gradient down here to help show that there's more information, because it says step 6. It isn't immediately apparent. You'd kind of want it like that, but that's very hard to like predict. It's easier to predict horizontally like this. Much easier to predict horizontally that the scroll is necessary. Harder to do that vertically. So just some, and that's why a lot of people do a fade down here to like indicate, oh, that looks like it's fading. Is there more? But overall, it's pretty good. I want to come in here and look at I want to look at this chicken thing. This is chicken. Oh yeah, so this is the chicken thing. All right, so on click, open overlay. If you did after delay, that would basically say, all right, so let's just keep it at the 800 millisecond thing. So that's now after delay. And then here, if we did the same thing here where we said after delay, and let's just speed this one up a little bit. And now let's run that back and say, so it automatically takes you there now, where previously it was like 3 clicks. I don't think that timing is right. I think you're going to want to refine that, but overall, I think the big thing that I'm looking for here is, like, can you build something that shows interactivity? Can you and it's a living, breathing thing on multiple levels right now. I mean, your search field works. Yeah, it bounces a little bit, and what I'm saying when it bounces is, like, this moves over. So I would go get the XY for this just to make sure that why did that move? It's slightly off when this switches. Like, and I expect these to change a little bit, but this didn't move at all. I mean, this says chicken recipes and this says results for chicken. But it's like this area moves just so slightly, and those are the telltale signs of, like, lack of detail. So I want to address that. Everything else, though, I feel really good about your work. Okay, so we've kind of got to go through see, both of these work really well. They both cut off an ideal spot, but that's hard to get to. But that one worked out pretty well for you. Yeah, this is really nice. Just a couple of minor things there, but the big thing here is that little spot right there. If you can streamline out the little wiggle that happens up there, I think you should call this one done and move forward, because I think you've done a really good job. Yeah. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's edition of the Feedback Loop. Just a couple of updates, looking at scroll position for a prototype, looking at refinements in terms of using after delay. After delay adds that natural interactivity. When we're going through sites, we don't click to get to the next. We click, and then something happens on the back end, and then it puts us there. And we want that to feel like it's occurring here, so that the users who are going through our test are getting a legitimate feel for how the actual product would work, because they wouldn't actually do the click. And then, like, we want to just go through and get that XY and begin refining so that our elements aren't moving around on the page. And that's more of a just from a design perspective. I want to have it clean and consistent throughout. I don't want it to move around, because I wouldn't want it to do that in the final product. All right. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Got a busy day of meetings coming up here. I'm going to see many of you today. For everyone else, if you're looking for mentorship, listen to my crew. They've got good ideas for you. I'll see you tomorrow.